All right, guys, we're about to put some paint on this thing. All right, so we got this thing looking a whole lot better than it looked the last time you saw it. We did a lot of wire brush work on it, a lot of grinding. Got a lot done to it this week. We cut off that old mechanical brake rod that was going across there. I don't know exactly what you call it. It's a pivot bar for the mechanical brake system. We got that off. We got what was left of that old battery box that was in here, battery tray, whatever you call it, battery mount. We got that cut out. There were some miscellaneous old bolts and stuff in the frame that we cut out. And we just wire brushed and cleaned it real good. Got it looking good. So it's ready to paint now, except we need to put on some caps over these holes right here. And right here. So that's what we're going to do first before we get started on putting some paint on. We're going to go ahead and make some covers to go over these holes. That's just going to keep nuts and bolts out of there, tools out of there over time. Because I'm telling you, when you're working on a car and you drop a nut or a bolt, it'll find its way into a hole like that. You'll never find it, or either the socket or whatever. And plus, spiders try to get down into here. And down here in South Alabama, in a shop like I got, you're going to have spiders. You can spray for them, that'll help, but you're still going to see a spider every once in a while, and they like to get in places like that. And sometimes we even get grasshoppers. Oh, there he is. So that's where we're going to get started. Welcome back to Philip's Hot Rod Garage. All right, so let's get started cutting off some pieces. 2 inches by 1.5. Then here we're going to need 2 inches by 1/2. And at the back, we're going to need 3 inches by 1 3/4. All right, 2 inches. By, let's see, what was it, 1.5? Yep. Some guys are like, hey man, how come you take 4 videos to build a old Model A frame into a body jig for a Model A? Well, it takes 4 videos because I'm not a full-time YouTuber. And while some people are in their shop all day, every day, working on their hot rods, I'm at work doing insurance collision repair for a living so that I can make enough money to feed my family. Because contrary to popular belief, YouTube does not pay a ton of money. That is not the way it happens. So YouTube for me is kind of a part-time deal. So I get Monday night and Tuesday night, sometimes Thursday night. A lot of times I don't work on Friday nights. Sometimes I do, but a lot of times I don't, because I'm usually tired after the end of a long, hard week at work. But hey, no excuses, right? If you want to get this kind of work done, you're going to have to push yourself really hard. Because this kind of work takes somebody committed, and it takes somebody willing to put in late hours, long hours, and do a lot of things that you don't feel like doing when you don't feel like doing it. Because this is a lot of work. And there's a reason why a lot of those guys you see out there that started making YouTube videos and they were doing really good for a while, and then all of a sudden you don't see them anymore. There's a reason for that. Because this takes such a commitment that a lot of people are not willing to put in, that some people, when they realize that they're not making a ton of money doing this, they quit. And I had a guy in the comments a while back to tell me that he wasn't watching my videos anymore. And so he wasn't going to watch my videos anymore because the car wasn't going to be perfect. And I was obviously trying to get it perfect. Well, it's not about me trying to get it perfect. What I am doing has nothing to do with getting it perfect. But it has all to do with the way that I'm doing it. So you guys are watching the channel of a working man. I've got 2 kids. My daughter is currently competing in a pageant for Miss National Peanut Festival. You can look that up if you don't know what that is. So we're staying busy with that. Not really me, but her and my wife, and I've got to go next weekend to the pageant. And then I got a boy, he's 6. He's been on my videos before, but I try to spend a lot of time with him. And then all those people that wreck their cars, they want them fixed. So I spend a lot of time at work. And something else I haven't really talked about much on the channel is I pastor a little church down here in South Alabama. And you know, I know you guys are probably wondering why I'm talking about all this. Well, I'm just trying to say that between family, church, work, and sharing these videos with you guys on YouTube, get this Model A built and these other projects that I got going on, I'm sure you guys can all figure out where the priorities are. And this is not it. I do enjoy this, but this is not the priority. So, work a 40-hour week, spend time studying to preach twice on Sundays, go to church on Wednesday night, spend time with your family, and build yourself a hot rod. and record it. Put it on YouTube. Share it with all of us, what you're doing that week. And then we will discuss why it takes so long, because I think at that point, you'll understand. All right, so I got the caps done. That didn't take but a few minutes. 4 on the front and 2 back here on the back. That didn't take too long, so now it's time to get this thing outside, spray on some paint. All right, I got it outside. I'm gonna get started painting on it. But while I'm painting this thing, I'm gonna show you guys what happened earlier in the week. I hired my cousin Jared to come help me to get this thing to this point. So check out what happened this week, and then I'll show you what this thing looks like with it painted. All right, guys, that's it. All right, guys, there it is. It looks pretty good. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. All I got to do now is put the wheels on it, and I think I'm done with it. Now, there is a couple of things I didn't fix. This right here, I didn't see any reason to get involved in that. I mean, they got this big old plate on the side right here. It's plenty strong enough. So, I did want to put some paint on it because it is going to be a fixture that I'm going to be using in the shop for a long time. When I'm done with this body, when I get that body over on here and get it finished and I'm done, I'll go ahead and put another body on it. Matter of fact, I think I'll take you outside before it gets dark and show you some other stuff I'm going to put up on here. Now, tucked over here in the corner, there's a couple of Model A coupe quarter panels, and I'm going to show you the rest of the car. I know it's hard to see under here, but there's a complete cowl with the subrails. There's the visor, all the garnish moldings, the rear body panel. There's the quarter windows. Right over there is the windshield frame. There's the tulip panel. So these pieces, along with some doors that I got in storage up in the top of the shop, and those quarter panels, makes a complete Model A coupe. And back here behind the shop, there's this old Roadster pickup. Now, you guys have seen this before in one of my videos, and this thing is rough. It is really bad. But this thing, the body is basically falling apart on it. I mean, it's just really bad. Cowl's not attached to the subrails. I mean, it's terrible. There's really not much to this old truck, but it is what it is. It is a Roadster pickup. And I think it would be pretty cool as a rat rod type vehicle. You know, something that you weren't really trying to make real nice. So what I'd like to do is use that jig to put this body up on one day. I don't know. I may sell it first, but if I ever decide to, I can use that jig to put this body up on and put this thing back together. You know, just use some square tubing or something to reinforce the body and do a few patches in it. Just kind of make it to where you can put it together and make a beater out of it or something. And then there's the sedan over here that's in much better condition than that Roadster pickup. Now, I would sell this, but if I don't, I can use that body jig that we just made in there to put this body on, to do the subrail repair and get it squared up and get this body back together. It's a pretty decent piece. It's not that bad. So yeah, there's another project I got. Well, there you go, guys. That's the reason why I needed to make this jig. This thing's going to be around for a long time. I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. Between me and my dad, I think we got 7 Model A's, and every one of them need to go on this jig. You just saw the Roadster pickup that I have that's really bad. The 2829 sedan that I have that's really, really bad. This car was pretty bad. My dad's got a 30 or a 31 sedan, a 2-door sedan, that is as nice of a body as you'll ever find. It is solid. I mean, a solid car. But I could still put it on the jig while I'm working on the chassis on that, if we ever build that car. And then he's got a 4-door sedan that somebody cut 2 doors out of, cut the subrails off and tried to make one of those little shorty cars out of it. I don't know if you've ever seen one or not, but they cut the back 2 doors out and shortened the car up, and I don't really like the way they look. But it needs to be put back together correctly, and he's got the parts to do it with, but it'll need to go on here. And then he's also got another one of these 2829 coupes that has been cut off. They cut it off like right through here. I think they cut it off with an axe years ago and made a truck out of it. And I think the people that had that car actually used it to skid logs out of the woods. One day I'll get some footage of those cars and I'll show you the ones that he has. But he's got the quarters to go back on it, to put it back like it's supposed to be. So that car had to go on this jig. to get it back right. And of course you saw the other coupe that I have that's in pieces. I have every piece of that coupe as far as the sheet metal. I have all the roof parts, all the cow parts, all the subrails, the doors, the trunk lid. I have everything to assemble that body back together. But that car is actually pieces of several different cars, and I bought it from a guy who picked up all the parts at various different swap meets. So the subrails, the cowl, the doors, the quarters, the roof parts, they didn't even come off the same car. So that one will be quite the project if I ever do it. So there's the potential to build 7 different Model A's unless I find some more. So now you see why I needed this jig. I'm going to have it around for a long time, so I didn't want it to look like a piece of junk sitting in the shop. I wanted it to look pretty decent because I will be using this thing for the rest of my life. Plus, I got the 32 Ford sedan, I got the 32 Chevrolet coupe, and I got the 37 Ford pickup that I'll probably work on one of those before I work on another Model A. So I'm rambling, but I got a lot of cars to work on, so I needed this jig. It's done. In the next video, I'm going to put the wheels on it, going to put the body on it. I want to get this body done so I can move on to another project. And I got ideas for the flathead that I've had a couple of videos on. I've got an idea for that. I think I got the perfect vehicle to put it in, and I will be talking about that in an upcoming video. I'm going to make a video on the flathead and the vehicle that I'm going to put it in soon. And when I get the Model A body done, I'm probably gonna move over to the other vehicle, put the flathead in it, and get it running, because I do have one of these vehicles that I have that I can get on the road pretty quick if I had that engine stuck in there. So I might shift over to that and see if we can get a little bit of work done on it. All right, I'm rambling. See you guys in the next one.